Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome. Hope everybody's doing well, first of all. Hope everybody's healthy and safe. I wanted to come and do a video on one specific album that has just recently been reissued, and some deluxe editions. And this is an album that has followed me all through my life. I discovered this very young in my life, at a time that, I needed kind of a beacon, I guess. And, a lot of people might find it strange that it was this, but I was feeling at the time what this album was saying. It spoke to me in a way that I felt as a young man, isolated at some moments in my life, and pretty emotionally detached, I guess, from certain things, I guess. And I heard this, and it was like a revelation to me. And I'm talking about John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. This was just reissued. What can I say? I'm still discovering some things. But absolutely one of my favorite albums of all time. Like I said, I discovered this as a young man, and I've carried this with me all my life since. I still feel a sense of emotion. I feel a gladness, a sadness. This is emotion music, man. This is telling it like it is, raw. I discovered the Beatles early on in my life. I was probably 4th grade. My parents weren't real big Beatle fans, I guess. They only had Abbey Road and Let It Be in their collection. And so I really attached myself further, Abbey Road being my favorite at the time. But when I discovered the Blue Album and heard all those psychedelic tracks from Strawberry Fields, that's when I was, Strawberry Fields Forever is my absolute favorite, Beatles song. One of my all-time favorite songs. It's just, it's mysterious, and it has a sound that attracted, and then going down the list with I Am the Walrus, Lucy in the Sky, Tomorrow Never Knows. These are songs that I gravitated towards Lennon and just found, his voice, his look, was just perfect to me. I thought, wow, this guy, and of course the very first song I ever heard as a young child was Revolution. My mother did have the 45 Revolution, Hey Jude, but I first heard it on a Nike commercial way back when, and I just thought, that voice, So, moving forward, I discovered this afterwards, going into the solo. I wanted more, I wanted more depth as a young kid, discovering all their albums and still discovering into Rubber Soul. And, I kind of started at the end and worked my way backwards to the beginning. And pretty deep for a little kid, in my opinion. But when I discovered this album, as a young man, teenager, preteen, or whatever it was, man, I really attached myself to it, and it was like a beacon for me of emotion, because I was feeling these things. I didn't convince myself, but there was parts in my life that I was feeling in isolation towards people, family. I had some very important people pass away at that time in my life, and you know, the girl thing and all this stuff. You know, it was a hard time as a kid, but I look back and I have fond memories because I had this to comfort me. You know, out of all his works, other than the Beatles, John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band is just a masterpiece in my opinion. So when I saw this was being reissued, I was over the moon and past the galaxies because I just, you know, wow, what a beautiful record, man. I mean, I can't say enough. It's raw, and I always said that about, you know, the Beatles' first solo album, McCartney, All Things Must Pass. You know, it was almost at one time a three-way tie, but, you know, in the end, I think Plastic Ono Band and then All Things Must Pass and McCartney, you know, they're all different, but I don't know, I'm a more of a fan of this, I guess, out of everything, the most. You know, I first got this on CD, and shortly, you know, I've always had a record collection, very small, not as big as this, but when I was younger, and, you know, I remember being out of town, and I had my aunt at the time. Her and I were hanging out, and I had her take me by this record store that had been there since like the 70s or the 60s in West Texas, and this is the one I sought out. You know, I had to have it, and I've got several pressings. I think the only thing I don't have is a 8-track or maybe a cassette. I may have a cassette of this. But anyways, I didn't know a lot of these songs, you know. I discovered, I had the Shaved Fish album had Mother on it, and that's, you know, one of its own. But where I really discovered several of these songs was from my uncle that had passed away. You know, he died when I was about 3 years old, but what I remember of him having an immaculate record collection, for one, that I really would like to know what happened to that. Last thing I heard, it was all set out on the curb in the trash. But he was, I don't know if that's true or not, those are stories, but obviously he was a huge Lennon fan, because years later my dad opened up a chest full of personal things, and, you know, things that he had found important, you know, and I find myself doing those things as well. But he had a lot of newspaper clippings of John Lennon's assassination, and then I found a box of cassette tapes, which he had made a lot of tribute tapes, recordings from music, you know, he taped off the radio broadcasts and stuff like that. But then he'd make his own off of his vinyl collection. He'd make comp tapes like we all did back then. And this is the tape responsible for hearing Isolation, for hearing Mother, My Mummy's Dead, hearing Love, not Love, well, among other things, but Look at Me, Stealing Glass. These are songs that he put on there. Extra, Extra, Lennon, etc., etc. 1980, he made this in 1980. So this is an personal artifact to me of where I first discovered a lot of this music that, you know, being at that time in my life without money and stuff. This is kind of what guided me once I were given these. So I still have these tapes. I still have these collections that, you know, that I treasure. But it wasn't the whole Plastic Ono Band that was on here. These were songs that, you know, I could see were his favorites. Working Class Hero, you know, the darker, somber, melancholy Lennon. That's how I discovered the Plastic Ono Band. But again, this is an absolutely wonderful pressing of this album. You know, you had Lennon, Klaus Voormann, and Ringo Starr, and Billy Preston and Phil Spector, each on one track, piano. But what a brave album. Think about it. You have the breakup, and then you have, you know, kind of the nail in the coffin of the Beatles. You know, in the song "God," I don't believe in Beatles. I just believe in me and Yoko. But what can I say? This is just a wonderful, beautiful album. I'm not a critic, so it's hard for me to find any wrong in a lot of these albums that I have in my collection here, but especially this one. You know, I'm the kind of guy that when I hear people insult my heroes, you know, it kind of hits me the wrong way sometimes. And you know, Lennon wasn't perfect. He never pretended to be. But this right here, what can I say? You've got a great pressing. It's a very thick pressing, and it's on black and white Apple. It's a European press. Comes with a War's Over replica poster. You know, War's over if you want it. We still are fighting a war within ourselves. You know, if there's not a physical war going on, we have a lot of wars that we're still dealing with now, with racism, sexism, acceptance. So yeah, it's a universal message that will hopefully one day we won't have to say that, you know, because we do want it, and it is over, you know. But who are the Plastic Ono Band? You know, great little book. You know, Klaus Voormann. These are actually some of my favorite photos of John by the pool. Very reminiscent of the Help days, of this hat, and you know. But it's got some great commentary on here. And I just wanted to read a few things. So it comes with an Ultimate 2-disc. And this is like different takes, the outtakes of the whole album. And it really goes into breaking a song down and just kind of, you know, giving you a raw, even more raw look at these songs, the structure, the blueprint of this album. But I was reading through the notes, and there's a few notes I wanted to read. So from John himself, the Plastic Ono Band album was nice to do, and it was minimal. Just my guitar or piano and bass and drums. I think it's the best thing I've ever done. The poetry on this album is superior to anything I've done because it's not self-conscious. I had the least trouble writing these songs. There's no bullshit. It's realistic and it's true to me. In my life, I'm a Loser, Help, Strawberry Fields Forever. They're all personal records. I like first person music, but because of my hang-ups and many other things, I would only now and then specifically write about me. Now I wrote all about me, and that's why I like it. It's me and nobody else. I mean, how else can you tell people this is me? Take off the mask, you take off the idea. You know, a lot of pressure being a Beatle, you know, back then. Still, you know, you still have these Beatles approaching 80 years old, and they're still as relevant, But Lennon wanted to escape that, as they all did at that time. I'm John now. I'm not the walrus, I'm John. But I really feel like, again, this was such a welcoming. I was so happy when I heard, out of all the bullshit that's been going on, this was another beacon came to me, and the drums, Ringo again, they brought Ringo to the front with Klaus. What a great rhythm section. I really wish they kind of would have done some more music like this, going into more solo work, going into the 70s, this, I don't know, Lennon was, he liked different sounds, he liked to evolve, he didn't want to repeat it, so, but again, I like the simplicity of the Plastic Ono Band, the concept of Yoko's that came before they were together, but just a great thing. And this is some words for Yoko. And let me see here. So John around this time was going through primal scream therapy, dealing with a lot of stuff that he was unpeeling, the onion, and he was dealing with. He finally was taking a breath from being a Beatle, Beatle John, and the fame and the fortune, and really wanted to walk away from it. So at one point, John wanted to call his album Primal, and then her album, what was complementary to this album, Scream, Primal Scream. But I had been screaming long before we started their therapy, and we realized that therapy, whatever its title, was just a mirror. John was looking into a mirror at his own soul, and soon realized the fundamental truths he discovered for himself was advice needed by everybody. Feel your own pain. Learn to cry. Believe in yourself. Love is real. It's going to be all right. John and I like the idea of this really raw, basic, truthful reality that we were going to be giving to the world. We were influencing other artists, giving them courage, giving dignity to a certain style of vulnerability and strength, and it was not accepted in society at the time. That wasn't accepted in society at the time. It was a revolution for a Beatle to say, listen, I'm human, I'm real. It took a lot of courage for him to do that. So remember, a dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is reality. Wow. So, yeah. I believe it. I believe it. So on top of that, I also scored the Ultimate Collection box set. I don't know if you can see that. I'm still working with light. Plastic Ono Band. This has two Blu-rays, HD audio discs, 6 compact discs, and a 132-page book. It's got new remixes, surround sound. They also bring in Give Peace a Chance, Cold Turkey, and Instant Karma. And then you have Elements mixes. A lot of those are isolated vocals, like they do isolated vocals of Mother and so forth. Demos, and then you have jams. They're jamming out Ringo and Klaus and John from Ain't That a Shame, Johnny Be Good, Get Back, Lost John, Send Me Some Lovin', You'll Never Walk Alone, Don't Be a Soldier, Honey Don't Be Cruel, Hound Dog, Matchbox, I've Got a Feeling, Mystery Chain, and so many more. And then it's got live sessions of Yoko Ono Plastic Ono Band, which of course the same band was Yoko's band. But I'm still diving into this. But hardback, wonderful, a lot of great photos, history, stories, talking about the sessions, showing, the studio mixes and stuff like that. Just absolute wonderful. There's George right there. I like these pictures. They're in a meditation circle. It looks like you got John, Yoko, Patty, and George Harrison, and I think Derek Taylor. I don't know. I will forever hold on to this album close to my heart. It's real. It's true. It's art. It's real. It's reality. And I think John just was being as truthful as he could. He was brave. He was brave at this time. Vulnerable. He felt rejected. He didn't think he was good. People had to really boost his confidence. I could only imagine the weight of the world on your shoulders, walking away from probably the most famous, loved band of all time, especially at that time. I still feel like they could have gone years writing. Breaks were always good, but history proved otherwise, and we were fortunate to have documentations of beauty as the Plastic Ono Band. There's probably so much more I could say. I just think this is such a wonderful gift from the estate, from Yoko, from Sean, from Julian, Ringo, Klaus. I was with postcards, another poster, and like I said, it's a wonderful thing. And when it's this to me is something personal, something that touched my life and still speaks to me. I sat here the other day, here in the space cave by myself, mostly with my eyes closed, just listening and hearing. And there was things I heard in this new mix, that studio, instrumentation, like well, I'm hearing guitar parts that I never heard. I mean, there's so much I could say. I'm just excited, and I wanted to share this and my thoughts on this beautiful album. So that's it. I mean, I hope this is good. I hope it's good enough, and I hope that you'll take some of my words and my thoughts and share them with the world, and go out and experience this. If you've never experienced this album before, start. This edition is excellent. I love hearing the instrumentation come out, and the rawness, and the emotion. John was a gift. He really was. And one dude that I really wish was still around. I miss him. I didn't know him, but I did know him. So anyways, hope everybody's doing well. Take care, and I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.